Hey everybody, we're back from Passover Listings. You got Donnie here, and we have another special guest jumping on. This is going to be, we had earlier today, we had a wonderful Pesach traveler customer joining us, and that was actually the first. We've never done that before, right? Where we talked to a Pesach traveler and kind of got their inside information on different programs. Tonight, this evening, we're going to talk to a Pesach program operator out of upstate New York, FFH. So they're going to be joining very soon. If you have any questions, you can feel free to jot your questions in the comments, and we'll hopefully answer them as we go. And I hope everyone is really good, really well, and getting ready for a wonderful Pesach program trip. There are a lot of trips out there. There may be a little bit of a teaser trip coming out next week. I'm going to say may because we're not sure yet, but we may see a Pesach, our first ever Pesach cruise, kosher for Passover cruise. So we'll see. That may come out, may leave out of Mexico. So everyone hang tight for that. If you're interested in going on a cruise, which will be fully kosher for Passover. And it won't be mixed, it will be fully Jewish and fully kosher. So that's really interesting news on our side. We are still waiting for the guest for FFH to jump on, and then we're gonna get started here. Someone said there used to be Pesach cruises. There may have been, but I wonder if there was a full-blown cruise that was fully kosher without a mix of Jewish people and non-Jewish people. I wonder if they had that. I don't think, I'm not sure if they've had kind of a mix. This is going to be a fully kosher for Passover cruise with, I think it's going to be around 300 people, 130. Let's see. Okay. So we are still waiting for someone to join over here. There we go. Okay, so now, there we go. Next week, I'm going to say may because we're not sure yet, but we may see a Pesach, our first ever Pesach cruise, kosher for Passover cruise. So we'll see. That may come out, may leave out of Mexico. So everyone hang tight for that. If you're interested in going on a cruise, which will be fully kosher for Passover, and it won't be mixed, it will be fully Jewish and fully kosher. So that's really interesting news on our side. We are still waiting for the guest for FFH to jump on, and then we're gonna get started here. Someone said there used to be Pesach cruises. There may have been, but I wonder if there was a full-blown cruise that was fully kosher without a mix of Jewish people and non-Jewish people. I wonder if they had that. I don't think, I'm not sure if they've had kind of a mix. This is going to be a fully kosher for Passover cruise with, I think it's going to be around 300 people, 130. Let's see. Okay. So we are still waiting for someone to join over here. There we go. Okay, so now, there we go. Okay. Hold on one second over here. Sorry for that. There we go. All right. How are you?
Okay, good. Technical difficulties change phones. Okay, all good.
Okay. Well, welcome, Alyson. Alyson Feldman from FFH Events in New York, in the Catskills.
Correct.
So thanks for jumping on. This is great. We're really excited to have you on and talk about Pesach and talk about the program that you're running this year. Funny enough, we had a live earlier today with I think someone who booked your program or has booked your program for many years, Elaine Mann.
And yeah,
She jumped on and
I
said
love
some
Elaine.
wonderful things about your program that we all knew. So tell
Great.
us. So this year, you're doing a
hmm
Pesach program in upstate New York at the same property, right?
Villa Roma
Um,
Resort.
at the
It's called the Villa Roma Resort,
Villa Roma
and
Resort. And how
yeah,
many people are attending this year, roughly?
we have about 1,000 people. Is our program like we pretty much at 1,000 people we say we're sold out, and we just don't take anybody else. So that means that there's about pretty much about like 980 people per day at the resort. Some people are coming and going. Some people are staying the full amount of time.
Okay.
So with us, there are enough rooms to continue selling, but there is not enough space. So when we feel like we're at our maximum, we stop.
I,
So even last year, there was some bumps with some other programs, and we weren't able to take more people, even though we felt bad, but we weren't able to
I
take more people because we
saw
didn't
that.
want to
Right.
jeopardize other people's environment or stay or comfortability.
Yeah. Now that's key. I think these days, right, you don't want to take on too many people where it impacts the program, right? You want to make sure logistics, operations run
Right.
smoothly, things like that.
Right.
And look, FFH has been, how many years now have you been running FFH total?
So
Like,
9 years, nine
yeah,
years in total. This will be
wow,
our ninth year.
great.
And yeah, and every year we're always open to learning new things, and we never are happy with status quo. Like we're
Thank,
always eager to improve.
yeah,
And
thanks for mentioning that because I've noticed too, as a bystander, I've never been to your program, but as a bystander, I've heard also through the reviews, many reviews we had, it seems as though your program every year, you always take it to like a next level, to new heights, right? You do new things, you bring on new entertainers, new programming. It seems like it continues to improve versus kind of like you, right? Is that like the mindset on your side? Is like
yes,
how to get better?
so what we do is we're very conscious of cost. We wanted to fill a need of people who, your average family, it's a lot of money to go away for Pesach. We do not take it lightly. And there are plenty of programs that are high
Mm-hmm.
end. And we wanted to be high end enough where people felt like they're spending their money and they're getting that
Yeah,
luxury, but they're not having to spend so much money that they honestly A, don't have,
right.
and B, not everybody's in the same price bracket. That's just simple. That's how it is with
Yeah,
everything. So,
absolutely.
but be that
No,
may, we want people to enjoy
yeah,
themselves.
because
And
the price.
also,
You have literally one of the best prices. When I say best prices, I should say more reasonable pricing in the industry. I think two adults in a regular room is what is around
it's 74.80 right now.
right.
And we're almost sold out of full stays and first days. Like
Right.
really, really, I mean, we have maybe like I said, it's more about space than rooms, but just to give it in practicality terms, I think it's about 20 more rooms. And then we're going to
You
be
literally,
sold out for full stays and first days.
oh my,
So if you are interested, you should definitely reach out to us for a quote and get the conversation rolling.
yeah.
Um, but
So you have
one
20,
thing that
you have
yeah,
20
so
more
just,
rooms, you
sorry.
have 20 more rooms, and that's it, right? You're saying, right?
Right. And then we're going to be full for this year. And then once we're full, like I said, we just say sorry, like, oh my God, we would have loved to have you, but we just can't. Like we feel bad. I mean, the only thing I do take on is if somebody wants to add someone to their table, it's like
Right.
another family member, something fell apart on their end, then that's something that we could usually accommodate, but we don't take we don't just squeeze people
Right.
in.
Right. So, you've been in this industry for a while. A lot of people there's a ton of people, a lot of people still looking for a Pesach program. They're still looking for a program. Maybe their first year, program traveler, Pesach program traveler. Maybe they've been away for, 10 years. There's a lot of people looking. What advice would you give them, Alyson, to find a program, right? Even if it's not at FFH, maybe it's, a different requirement. How would you go about it to kind of ensure that they can find the program that fits their needs from your experience?
I think you have to just imagine yourself on vacation. So, like, if you have a baby and babysitting is important to you, find out about the babysitting. If your husband, I don't know, he always wants gefilte fish, just make sure that they're always going to accommodate that he always wants gefilte fish, because otherwise he's going to be nervous because he doesn't have his gefilte fish, and it's like you could have this whole wonderful adventure, but you're missing out on some feelings of home that make it difficult for people to enjoy themselves. I've had guests where their children only eat French fries. So I've reached out to the caterer and made sure, are we gonna be able to accommodate this child that wants French fries around the clock, but this is all this child eats, and the mother's gonna be miserable if the child doesn't have her French fries. So while that might sound like a fancy lady's problem, it's not. It's like an authentic problem that a Jewish mother is gonna ruin her Pesach because her daughter doesn't have French fries. So like I'm right there to try to accommodate anybody's needs that they could feel like they're at home, but they're away. So I think that you have to really think like that. Like
you have 1,000 people in your program, and you're literally catering to everyone's individual needs.
Yeah. So what I do is I'm really rational. I just try to stay calm and rational with everyone that I'm dealing with. And I say, if you have a rational request, I will meet your need. So, that's like just what I mean. I mean it truly from my heart. I'm totally there to deliver. First of all, I deliver everything I promise. I don't overpromise. I will not do that. I have real, authentic conversations with people, what their needs are, write it down on the spot because I can't remember everything. And then I review it before with the caterer, with the floor managers, with everybody. I mean, you have to be so careful with allergies and all different things. Absolutely. And then once I've promised you something, I'm for sure going to deliver. But if you have a request on the spot, at that point, we make sure to hire really top-notch waiters, really great maitre d's and floor staff, and they're able to accommodate. Now, I don't want anyone taking advantage of our staff either. So when there's a situation like that, then I'll get involved and I'll just be like, okay, well, this is realistic. This is less realistic, because it's not fair to the other guests, like if a waiter's so busy with one table and not able to get to the other table. So it's like a careful balance, but I feel like most people understand it, and most people are like really happy with the service. And it's like, I mean, we've had issues because, 9 years will bring you issues, but like for the most part, people are just so happy to be away. And when you treat them like a mensch, they treat you like a mensch, and it's fantastic.
But you hit something very, very important on the nail. I just want to reiterate, right? I think when it comes down to like finding a program, right? I think you mentioned this. Find out what your must-haves are, right? If it's gefilte fish, like you said, make sure there's gefilte fish every night, and find out what your nice-to-haves are, because you're not, like you said, you're not going to get maybe everything potentially, right? Maybe you are, but most of the time you may not. So you have to figure out like what you really want. So for people, you want you want to be near locally, right? In the tri-state area. Do you want to be more in the beach, right? So you got to figure out what your really requirements are. I think that's very important for people to understand while they're looking for a Pesach program out there. It's great.
Right.
So going back to first, right? This is a weird, it's a crazy year. The world is crazy, right? It's a lot of stuff. Did you find? I mean, how was that for you? As a program operator that typically starts early and pushes out, and tries to. It seemed as though everything went okay because people really want to be united, but what was the feeling from customers who are booking in the sense of like, I want to be with my family, I want to be with friends? Did you find there was a lot of new people that came out because of the unity and the Achdut this year? Like, what was that take now because of everything?
So I would say when we first launched, it was we weren't sure when to launch because it was really right after Sukkot, and we were uncomfortable launching. But as people were reaching out to us, we were like, you know what, maybe people want to think about the future and make plans. And so we started having conversations. We definitely, our hearts and minds are always in Israel. And basically, I'm hearing a little bit of everything from everybody. I have guests coming from Israel, and which is interesting. And then we do have people who said that usually I go to Israel, but this year I'm scared to make plans there. And then a lot of people are just concerned about how many family members or, how they're going to all be together. But for the most part, I don't think it really affected our numbers tremendously or anything like that. But like, there's definitely the conversation. People are feeling it. And, when I speak to people on the phone, sometimes our conversations go on for an hour and we really get to know each other. So I definitely can hear from everybody that everybody is feeling the pain and nobody's not touched by what's going on.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that a little bit in terms of like the, what you're doing on the program to maybe for everyone to feel more comfortable. I know there's going to be a matchmaker and a shot. I like to I want people to understand like what programming, entertainment you're having to this year. Maybe that differed from last year. Maybe that is
Sure.
last year.
Sure. So we're actually having more shotguns than we ever had before. We have like 3 and possibly 4. So I was thinking,
why is that, by the way? Why are you?
it's just connections that people like, people who wanted to come to the program anyways, and they happen to be shotguns, and like I checked them out and they're like, good.
Right.
So I was thinking of maybe making a shotgun panel, but don't quote me on that because I don't have that set in stone. But I'm also we're having someone who is actually talking to us a lot about Israeli politics and giving us like some background. One of the guests has like an extensive history in Israeli politics, so that should be interesting and timely. I'm also in talks with somebody who was just serving. He left, he's like a lone soldier, and he was just serving, and he has like a detailed, explanation of everything that he just went through. So if that works out, that will be interesting. But yeah. Yeah, so that's going to be, I think that's interesting. And then we have tons of, fun entertainment. We want to be upbeat, also let people really enjoy. So we have Yoni Z, which is always a crowd favorite, lots of fun.
Those who don't know who Yoni Z is, just tell people who is Yoni?
Yoni Z is a Jewish musician, and he's super popular, and check him out, Yoni Z. He has like a ton of hits, and really upbeat Jewish singer. And it's a Dayan we have also, who's also an excellent. I mean, we got such great feedback from him.
Who is that? I missed it. Who is that?
It's a Dayan is coming, an Israeli singer.
Oh, that, yeah.
And then we're also
great.
And then we're also having a comedian. We have like just around the clock entertainment.
Right. Amazing. So entertainment.
There's always something going on. We have from every age group. We have day camp. We have night activities. We have kumsitz. We have swim aerobics. There's just something always going on. And then the hotel itself is also like a tremendous asset. It's a full resort. So there's just like the craziest things there. There's a full bowling alley. There's a full golf course. There's go-karts. There's bumper boats. There's just like, tons of stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's never bored. You're never bored there. That's what I've heard.
You're never bored. And also all ages. Yeah. Like we have to entertain every age. Right. So that's something. Yeah. And I have like some great ideas for this year that, aren't sealed. So I can't announce them yet. But when it is, I will. And I think that will be great also for like teenage. I think it'll be great for teens and young adults. So I'm like very excited about that.
Amazing. So let's talk about very quickly just about the food for a minute, right? Yeah. I don't know why. Everyone asks me, is like, when they contact us, to help them with recommendations, are they going to have like this type of meat or that type of meat? People love it. I mean, the meats are delicious at these programs, of course. I mean, maybe talk about what type of food you're going to have.
Sure. So from the get-go, from day one, we've been partners with Table One Catering. Table One Catering is like a 5-star caterer. He's located in Crown Heights, Levi Fagenson. He's phenomenal. And not only is the food delicious and fresh, but it's also always plated beautifully. It's plentiful. Like I mentioned before, great wait staff. All those things are so important. If you have a beautiful dish in front of you, but you don't have a fork, what's it going to do for you? You know what I mean? You need all those things are important. And he's phenomenal. And we've had him since day one. So that's how we launched. Like, so some things maybe we didn't have the fanciest entertainment, but we always launched with 5-star food. So you're absolutely never hungry. There's never been a person who's been hungry at our program for 1 minute. Yeah. Plentiful food and something for everybody. And also like lamb chops and veal cutlets, and also a lot of duets. So that way, if there's a lot of people who don't want heavy food. So you really have to make everybody happy. There's the people who are just like, I just want a salad. Like, you better have a salad for them. And then there's vegans, and then there's vegetarians, and then there's just everybody. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. No, totally. So here's a question for you. Maybe I've asked it in the past. I don't know. But, there's a bunch of programs out this year. 120, over 120 programs this year. And a ton of programs. There's a handful in the tri-state area this year as well. Probably not as many prior years. But how would you, in one word, this is going to be maybe a little hard, but in one word, describe or differentiate your program? And not to say that other programs aren't great. They all have their things, and everyone has their differentiations. But how would you describe your program in one word and differentiate your program from all the other ones out there? Like, what makes yours different? Like, what you think makes it different for people?
So
Like, what
I'm going to do a hyphenated word. Detail oriented. That's going to be a hyphen. Okay. Sue me.
Okay.
But I pride myself on being detailed
Mm-hmm.
oriented. And I think that it's all in the details. And, I think we've been successful from day one, because if you forget, I don't know, you just can't forget the things that people asked you, and you can't just, you have to deliver.
Right.
And it's all in the details.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's all the details, right? Because that's how you cater to 1,000 people, right? You gotta make your detail.
You have to be on the ball. You have to be front and center. You
Yep.
have to be able to answer when something's not right. Also, it's not just, you're never 100% because it's not humanly possible.
Right.
So when I'm not 100%, I have to fix it as soon as possible and not make excuses. And like, why should I waste even a minute making an excuse when I could just fix it? So, and then, like I said, then there's the reasonable conversations when something's like, okay, well, I can't do that, but I could do this.
Right.
So, but I just think that we're detail oriented and front and center. And that's what I would say is why our reputation is so strong.
Let me flip it, right? What have you heard over the years, over your 9 years, like a consistent message from customers? Like, what has been like the consistent message, the feedback, the testimonials, like the one thing that like kind of sticks in your mind from customers that have come back maybe year after year, or new customers that that have come as well? Like, what's that one thing that customers have said or about you on different things? Like, what's that one?
1,000 things like jumping out at me, but like one time, like a lot of people have said this over the years, that it's like overnight camp for adults. So like that's why people are just they have a smile on their face that is almost childish, because they're fed, they're entertained, they're mingling with the nicest people. Our crowd is unbelievably nice, so warm. They're so not pretentious. Like, it's just such a nice crowd that they meet people that they necessarily would not have met, and they make lifelong new friends. So it's overnight camp for adults. It's fantastic. And your kids can be busy while you're busy. No one's nagging you. They have where to go. It's a very safe environment. And I just think like that's something that I hear over and over. And like, I just love to see the smiles. Like, me and my husband will take a stroll through the hallways. We're checking things out. We're trying to look around, but like, maybe just take a minute for ourselves. People will stop us over and over, and they're thanking us like the whole time. And we're thanking them. Thank you for choosing us. Thank you for coming to us. And they're thanking us because they're saying that I'm so happy I chose you. And I'm so happy that we're, at your program and we're having the best time. And so are our kids and so are our grandkids. Right. So everybody's happy because everybody's happy.
Right. No, you bring up a really, really important point. I remember when I go on programs, right? Look, anyone who has kids, young kids knows it's a lot, right? When you go on a trip, sometimes it's a trip, it's not a vacation. But when you go on a Pesach program, it's a vacation because, like you said, it's a camp for adults, right? What would probably by that is that adults can relax, they can breathe, they can put their kids in camp. That your counselors and your kids program are going to take care of them. There's babysitting. They're having a wonderful time. They're coming back happy. They're eating. There's tons of food, and you can just sit back and just enjoy it and not have to worry about cooking and cleaning and all that stuff. So I love what you said, that because I resonate that like personally, going away. And that's why I love going away, because it really is a vacation. It really is truly a vacation to really enjoy. I know it's expensive, but it is a beautiful, beautiful vacation. Yeah. All right.
It is. And I tell people that like if you say it's like your Pesach money and your vacation money together, then it's more affordable. If it's just what I would spend on Pesach anyways, maybe not. But also one thing I would just say is like we were customers before we had a program. I was in the event business, but I didn't have a Pesach program. But I loved going away to the Pesach program because to me it was like, I could look at my
Right.
kids. I'm not distracted about what's going on in the kitchen and serving the next course, and I have to be there, and I'm annoyed with him because he's not helping in this one. You could just look at your family and be present and
Mhm.
and be served while they're being served and just enjoy Yontif. And it's a beautiful experience
Really
for
is beautiful.
everybody.
And what's
Like, who
cool
needs
about
to
it,
be with a stressed out mother? Like, enjoy your mother also,
right?
you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I always ask people. It's so funny. It's like, we survey so many people out there every year. It's like, why do people go away, right? Some people go away for the food. Other people go away because of, again, just to kind of, not have to cook and clean and not have to kind of, worry. Other people go away because they like to, travel to new destinations and enjoy new cultures and food and everything like that. And some people go away because of the people, to meet new people and to
Yeah.
kind of, have that like feel of unity and often. And I think this year's going to be special, like
Mm,
going on.
I agree. I agree.
Um,
I'm looking so forward to every year meeting the new people, and the people I spoke to on the phone, like some of them I'm like, oh, you're going to be my new best
yeah,
friend. Like, there's some great people, so I'm really looking forward.
amazing. Well, Alyson, thank you so much, guys. If you're interested in booking, she has 20 rooms left, so get on it now. They're one of those programs that books out, does not go over the current allotment. Again, you can always check them out on PassoverListings.com. They have, I think, 34 reviews up there. If you're looking for reviews, I always tell do your own research. Look for reviews. You can also check them out at FFHevents.com. That's FFHevents.com. Their numbers on there. And again, so nice seeing you in person, over the phone, of course. And have a wonderful Pesach. We'll speak soon. And thank you
You
so much.
too. Thanks, Donnie, for everything.
Thanks so much. Thanks, guys. Take care.